Every chef has a dish that changed their life, and this one certainly changed mine forever. Chicken Pozole. It's a legendary Mexican soup with tender braised chicken, smoky chiles, hominy, veggies, and a ton of flavorful toppings. When my wife first tried it while we were dating, she said she'd never tasted anything like it, and she's been hooked ever since. Now, I'm bringing it back just like before, and she'll decide if it still hits the same. Let's see if it's still got that spark. I'm going to be using a roughly 4-pound whole roasting chicken. This is going to be the best bang for the buck, and I'll show you why in a minute. However, you can also use bone-in thighs, drums, or even split chicken breasts. Let's set the chicken to the side, and then I'm going to roughly chop 1 large yellow onion. Next, smash 4 garlic cloves. Then I'm going to peel and thickly slice 2 medium to large sized carrots. Add all those veggies to the same bowl, and then separately, I'm going to thickly slice 2 ribs of celery and set those to the side. And now to make a quick stock. Let's take the bowl of onions, carrots, and garlic over to the cooktop, and I'm going to be using a 2-gallon pot. Drizzle in about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, or any neutral oil is good. Turn the heat to medium, then add in those veggies, and give a gentle season of salt to help draw out any moisture for a better sear. I want to brown these veggies up to help deepen the flavor of the stock as much as possible. Celery usually doesn't undergo the same dramatic flavor changes as the other veggies, so we'll get to those in a second. For now, we'll saute these for a total of 10 to 12 minutes. Once browned like this, let's add in that whole chicken. And now is when we're going to hit it with the celery. Let's add in 1 bay leaf, or a few sprigs of fresh thyme works as a great substitute, then pour in 1 gallon of water. We're going to turn the heat to medium-low and simmer for about 80 to 90 minutes. The goal is to have a very flavorful stock and tender, moist cooked chicken. That's why the whole bird is the best for this. And when I originally made this, it wasn't something that I planned for weeks to try to impress my wife with. I just wanted to eat it. I had no clue she would love it as much as she did. And we'll get into that in a little bit. For now, let's get these chiles nice and soft. I've got some dried guajillo and ancho chiles. I'll be using 2 each of these, and you can definitely feel free to add more, but for me, I'm more interested in the chile flavor than I am spiciness. But if you want that heat, throw in a few chiles de árbol, that'll get you where you want to go. All we want to do here is remove the stem by pulling it out, then tear open the chile and remove all the seeds. And just repeat the process with the remaining chiles, and then to get as much flavor out of these as we can, let's take them and toast them up. So, in a medium-sized carbon steel or cast iron skillet, turn the heat to medium-low and spread the chiles out and press them down for about 20 to 30 seconds each, cooking them for a total of 2 minutes per side. This process intensifies the flavor and adds a touch of smokiness, which I love. Now, cover them completely in water, make sure they're submerged, and what I'm going to do is push them to the back burner and simmer over low heat for about 30 minutes. Now in the meantime, let's do 2 quick things. First, let's grab a ladle and remove some of the impurities at the top of our stock, or as my old chefs from culinary school used to call it, skimming the scum. And then secondly, let's toast up, to me, one of the most impactful ingredients in this soup. So in a medium-sized saute pan, add in 1 tablespoon of cumin seeds. And then we're going to toast them over low to medium heat for about 3 to 4 minutes while constantly moving them around. This will make them much more aromatic and take the flavor to new heights, and in return, add an incredible amount of depth of flavor to our pozole. And once they're toasted, they'll become deliciously fragrant. So using a mortar and pestle or a spice grinder, grind these up until they become ground. Lots of grinds, grinder, and grounds there. Sorry about that. Okay, let's go check on our chicken. I always know it's done when the legs start breaking through the top of the water and it's floating just like this. Almost a foolproof way to ensure we're good to go. At this stage, I'm going to carefully set it to the side on a plate and strain the stock. So in a separate pot, I prefer to use my rondeau in this case, and of course a chinois or any fine mesh strainer will work. Pour the stock through, and don't forget to fish out that bay leaf. You can discard that. Then at this point, drain as much liquid as possible, but please do not press those veggies down in the strainer, and I'll tell you why shortly. But for now, let's just keep them in the chinois and set them to the side. Pozole has its roots in ancient Mexican culture dating all the way back to the Aztecs. After the Spanish arrived, pork and chicken became the meat of choice and the dish evolved into what we know today. But the main ingredient, and tends to be the showstopper, is the hominy. If you haven't heard of hominy before, they're dried kernels that go through a process called nixtamalization. Basically, they're soaked in a lye or lime solution, which softens the tough outer hull and germ, making them way easier to digest. The result? A puffed up texture that's both unique and awesome. For me, the canned version is the way to go. I usually like to give them a quick rinse, and then, to get some flavors infusing at this stage, I add them directly to the strained stock and begin to simmer everything on low to medium heat. And now to really make this soup sing, let's add the simmered chicken stock veggies to a blender. See, this is another reason to brown them up, more flavor. Next, pour in about 2 cups or so of that hot stock right from the pot. Then for some goodness, let's add in the ground cumin, 1.5 tablespoons of dry oregano, 1 tablespoon of white distilled vinegar for some acidity, 1 small bunch of fresh cilantro, yep, the stems are great to use here, and then of course, let's go back to the chiles and remove those from the pan. And I usually don't add any of that liquid in there because it can be a bit too bitter and completely alter the flavor of the soup. But hey, if I mess this up, it's not like she's gonna love me any less. Or will she? Just kidding. Let's add those right to the blender, then give a good season of salt. Now, add on the lid, then remove the centerpiece to release the steam as it blends, or else it'll explode on you. I usually just cover the opening with a kitchen towel. At this stage, blend on high until the mixture is completely smooth, and I can seriously already smell everything, and it's awesome. Once it looks like this, let's transfer all this deliciousness over to the pot, give it a stir to get some more flavors incorporated, and now is a good time because our chicken should be pretty cool to the touch at this point. So all we're going to do is remove the skin and get as much meat off of this as possible while pulling it apart into bite-sized pieces. Trust me, it just tastes better like this. Do it. Now to bring this back to the cooktop and stir in the chicken, and yeah, looks and smells incredible in here. Your neighbors are going to think you'll be running a Mexican restaurant out of your house. Now we're almost done with this, but first, let's let all these flavors marinate for about 30 minutes, which is plenty of time to prep up my favorite part of the dish, the accompaniments. I'm going to slice up a few limes into wedges. Next, radishes. Do not skip these. I love them. I usually thinly slice on a mandolin, but you could easily do it by hand. Now this next one is a favorite, and while not traditional, I love sliced avocado in this. It just adds some great fat and flavors to the pozole. Next up, I'm going to thinly slice up some green cabbage on the mandolin, and again, doing it with a knife is great too. And believe it or not, iceberg lettuce is also a very traditional topping that can be subbed for the cabbage. Then last but not least, some diced onions, which I won't add because honestly, the wifey isn't a big fan. No problem. The prep is done. I'm going to wrap up the soup, give it a taste, and see what it needs. For me, salt is a must, and then it needs a bit more acid, so the juice of a half lemon or lime is perfect. Okay, it's done. It's plate up time. Adding several ladles of the soup right to a large bowl, then adding in the shredded cabbage, sliced radishes, the avocados, then finally some limes. And of course, tortilla chips are insanely good in this as well. All right, moment of truth.
It looks amazing.
All right, try it, see where we're at.
It looks heartier than I remember, so it looks very filling. Perfect.
Still as good, slightly different, or is it hard to remember?
I feel like I need to squeeze the limes in there.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Get in there. What does that lime do? What does it add?
Acid?
Yeah. Yes. Is that better?
Now it's perfect.
You think my cooking in general is better?
I think overall it's better, but I think you go through seasons where you're more passionate about the craft.
Sure.
And I can tell the back and forth.
So when you can't tell, it's not as good? Oh, what?
You can taste the love. Like that's a real thing.
Okay.
You can taste it. I remember this was one of the first dishes that I had never tasted anything like it with all the flavor. Because the meat had so much flavor with the salt and the lime.
Remember those little guys? What are those called?
Yeah, the hominy.
Gosh, we've moved. We had a kid. Like, there's a lot going on. I mean, think about this, 17 years.
You always say that.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. 17 years is a long time, dude. You're almost senior in high school. 17, that's how long that is. We have a 12-year-old. I don't know. It's crazy. Want to impress someone with your cooking? This dish could be the one. Hey, it worked for me, so give it a shot. And now let's dive into Lindsay's second favorite dish of all time, chicken makhni. I've got a great recipe video. See you on there. Go, you gotta go. Keep walking.